Welcome back to Smarter Than Yesterday. Today's episode is about reinvention, resilience, and finding purpose through endurance sports. We're joined by Rob, a lifelong sportsman, an Ironman finisher.
And now Rob is a mental coach at Smart Performance Coaching, and his journey spans elite level training and sport, serious injury, personal loss, and a powerful return through endurance.
Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon.
How's your morning been? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been up trail running this morning, so decided to go up training for a ultra in 7 weeks. So I just thought I'd head up Shobden Hillwood and try and do a couple of loops of that this morning. I encountered some very deep snow, so the hills weren't very runnable. So I was using my cheating sticks this morning. So yeah, so trying to get used to them, trying to trudge through and not fall over and break my neck in the snow this morning. So that was good fun.
Sounds like a good morning.
Oh, it was a good morning. Yeah, no, it was all good. So yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, mate. And
Thank
for
you.
those that don't know you, just give us a little bit of introduction, who you are, what you do, and that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm Rob Williams. I'm a lot older than people think. So I'm nearly 47.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Did you not?
No.
I know, 47 in April. Oof, I know. It's just when I take my hat off. That's why I always wear a cap, because I'm so grey under the cap. I just tend to hide it.
Hopefully the listeners and watchers can see that in a bit.
Well, yeah, so it just sort of sheens off the side. So, what about me? So, married to Donna. Been together since 1998. One child of our own. We've got 2 stepkids who have brought up as my own as well. From the stepchildren, I've got 6 grandchildren. So I always boggle people's heads when I say I've got 6 grandkids. So yeah, the family keeps me busy. Split the time between Hereford and Portsmouth. My daughter lives down in Portsmouth with her 2 kids down there and her husband. So spend a lot of time in Portsmouth, much as we can. And then just a busy life. I've worked in. Main job has always been around production, factory environments, food manufacturing. So, yeah, variety of industries, from snacks to drinks to currently in baked good in a bakery at the moment. So, yeah.
Nice.
So,
Sweet.
so yeah.
So you've got a busy life then, Rob. So how do you, obviously you do a lot of endurance sport, which we'll get on to, but how do you fit that busy family life, work life as well into your training and endurance world?
It's it can be very tough at times. It means lots of very early mornings, so you've always got to try and what I've had to do is you have to start training at 5 o'clock in the morning most of the time, between 5 and 6, and then depending what I'm training for, it will be normally a shorter session in the morning, a longer session in the evening, and save the big long ones for the Saturday, Sunday. It can be tiring, especially around work, depending on where you are with work. So it's just a matter of getting it done.
Yeah, and the family and Donna are quite helpful with fitting that into your life. Or,
It becomes more demanding as the years go on.
Okay.
Yeah, the first couple of years were it's all nice, it's all good, but you can see she's very good. She accepts that I'm going to do what I do, but you can definitely tell that she gets a bit pissed off at times.
Every race I've been to with you and I've seen you there, she's always there. She's a great supporter of yours, isn't she?
No, she's great. She is definitely the solid base that I need. And I just have to make it work. So when you're on especially on the weekends when we do have time together, it's a matter of get the training done, probably get a bit more caffeine in you after just to make sure you're not tired. So you haven't got to you don't feel like even though you want to lie down and just pass out on the sofa, you say, actually, no, let's go and do something.
Would you enter more races if she wasn't there? Like you weren't with Donna, you enter more races.
Probably,
definitely. There's probably about it.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'll be entering races.
Just keeps you grounded a little bit as well.
100%.
The balance of it.
Because you get to a point, especially with, as soon as you get into the world of doing Ironman, especially the Ironman branded events, they are expensive, and you have to because you get drawn. Because if no one's ever done Ironman branded events versus other events, Ironman do it so well, and they reel you in because of how well the events are, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's as soon as you've done one of those and you go to a same distance event, it's never the same atmosphere, and it's like,
Yeah, I fully agree. And like the prices, like this year for Ironman Wales, I think it topped at £722 plus an admin fee.
yeah,
And that's just for race entry.
Exactly.
That's without anything else. So you're talking what, £1,500, £2,000
oh, easy.
essentially per race. So yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is, and you just got to try and justify it, and and when my wife says, she goes, "Oh, it would be nice to just have a holiday without having to base it around a race, wouldn't it?" Yeah, all right, okay, yeah, I know. Point taken.
Yeah. They get that little, nudging every now and then, don't they?
Oh, of course they do, and it's rightfully so as well. I can't keep splashing all the money on my sort of races and just saying do this, do that, because picking the right ones, pick the right ones I will actually make a difference. Like so,
Yeah.
Instead of just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, you've always been sporty.
Yeah.
Where did that first competitive edge come from?
It was always up until sort of 11. I wasn't sporty at all. I never really did anything, and then started playing football at school, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. I found I was quite good, and then I had a big growth spurt, sort of 11 to 12, and then it just started with my first team, and then it was like the parallel between doing endurance sport now and what I used to do was, well, I never did any endurance. I actively avoided doing cross country at school, any long distance stuff. It was all, if it wasn't football in the winter and basketball, it was athletics in the summer, and then I was just jumps and sprints, and that's all I did. There's a few times where it was like, oh, can you do for representing the county athletics, it's always a bit madcap county athletics. And because I was a jumper, it was like, oh, can you do the relay, for example? And I remember going to we competed at the NIA in some inter-counties thing, and they were like, oh, we're going to do the 4x400 meter relay. Can you do a lap of the 400? And I was just, yeah. And because you're on the cambered track, of course I was happy just being the high jumper in the middle. And then all of a sudden, I'm trying to run a cambered track in a 4x400 meter relay. It was horrific. I was like, did one lap, and I was like, oh my God, I've got no one to do it. So it just, it always, as soon as I got to 12, 13, sport was just there, and it was pretty much football, basketball, and then summer was athletics. So and then just.
So then did sport shape your life then from that period on?
Pretty much. I thought it would have shaped it a bit more as well, because it was just everything to me until I sort of got through college, because it was literally, didn't really do a lot with school, much to the annoyance of my mum, especially because she was a teacher at school as well. But yeah, scraped through, got the GCSEs I needed to get done. Went on to do A-level PE at sixth form, psychology and stuff, thinking I'm just going to carry on with this world of sport. I'm going to go to uni, going to go to be a PE teacher. But then because I had a good time at college, not in college, but a good time. And then as soon as I got to the end, got accepted to Cardiff, and then I just went, actually, no, I ain't going.
Wow.
So just stopped. And just didn't bother pursuing the uni life, which is a regret now, but I think it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, and then just carried on doing bits and bobs for them it was just purely football play, like playing in football. So it's
Okay.
it was just I wanted to stop learning at that point. I had enough.
Yeah. It's not for everybody, is it, at that age?
No, and that was the thing. And it's one of the regrets. It was like, what do I do now? So I went to go in the forces. I started out, I had a look at that, but then I got injured, so they wouldn't look at me at the time. They were like, no, we need some more. You need to do some rehab on your leg. And I'd done my ankle, part of a knee injury, and then come back in 6-12 months. And I was like, when you're 18 and you're got no patience anyway. I just never went back.
No.
Which is another thing I probably wish I had done as well. So we should have taken the time. But yeah.
Yeah. And you've talked quite heavily there about football.
Yeah.
That's what got you into the more active stuff.
Yeah.
From a physical side and obviously community and morale and all that. What did it mean to you at its peak?
Football was everything for up until probably 2019, really. It was just all consuming my life. I played for years, Saturdays and Sundays and midweeks, and yeah, it was whether I was playing locally, regionally. We used to tend to play like West Midlands League on the Saturday, then a load of us would play Sunday mornings together. And then one year, my friend, he asked me to go and play for a side out at Shobden. So I went back there. That's when and then towards the end of that season where I tore my ACL. So yeah, last 5 minutes of a cup semi-final when it was we were 2-0 up, easy, and then the lad who was playing up front for them, we just collided. Well, it was a nothing ball, and my knee went, hobbled off. I think that's not right. But I was flying to Mexico on the Tuesday, so I had to try and style it out, pretending that it wasn't too bad. But I could tell it wasn't right because when I walked off, my knee was just going.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, but yeah, nipped to the A&E then on the Sunday or the Monday. They said, oh, yeah, you've done something quite badly there. We need to. I said, all right, I'm just going to leave for 2 weeks first.
As you do.
As you do. So I would around Mexico for a couple. It was my honeymoon, so I had to go. So yeah, and then that's when I sort the coaching and the management sort of started then. Started helping my mate Knocker. So because I couldn't play, and then yeah, it just spiraled from there. It was just years and years of just dedicating everything. I never really trained properly then. It was just all about coaching, all about trying to get a team together to put out on a Saturday for Shobden, and it was just we just grew the club then. So yeah, well, to start with, it started quite small when I first started doing it, and then we peaked the men's side up. Then it crashed. We had to fold. And I left for sort of 18 months, didn't do anything. I was just sort of doing bits and bobs, helping other teams out, play. I started to play again a little bit. And then when I went back, it was my dad, because when I was there the first time, I convinced him to be chairman. And then I left, and then he convinced me to come back. He said, we need to sort it out, because they were like Shobden were in the Division 3, just one men's team. So he sort of, not forced me, but it pretty much was forced me, guilt tripped me into coming back. Yeah. And that's when we started it off. So managed to take the men's team from Division 3 up to the Premier League. So we got promoted like 2 or 3 times. And that's when we brought in all the kids teams. So I said, we need to change what we do. We can't have men's football in any sport's not sustainable. You have to have youth.
Yeah.
So we went from bringing 1 team in to growing up to 9 teams by the time I finished. I finished properly last summer. After my dad passed away, they sort of strong-armed me into being the chairman. It was like, oh yeah, that's what your dad would have liked. I was like, oh mate, come on. After I finished doing the proper coaching, because I stepped away from running the men's team, and then they strong-armed me into that, and I was like, oh no. But because it's football sort of run its course, I'd not really got any. There was no desire. As soon as I started triathlon, as soon as I started doing this properly back in whatever it was, 2021, that was when my mindset started changing away from team sports, because it was so hard. It got so hard in the end trying to find football teams, trying to get, especially the sides I were running, trying to get people to turn out on a Saturday. It was horrific, and it caused me so much stress. You'd start on a Monday or a Tuesday trying to get a team for the weekend. It was like, no, yeah, we got
as a volunteer.
Yeah, and you're like there all week, every week. Can you play? Yeah, I can play. And then all of a sudden a Friday night comes and 5 of them message you. Yeah, we're going away now, or we're going shopping with the missus, or actually we're going on the beers tonight, so we're probably not going to play tomorrow. So
little reward back for you then.
Yeah, it was, and it was just, and that was when definitely the mindset started shifting to me, and I was like, you know what,
there's always got to become a time when you've done what you can do with something.
Yeah,
isn't there?
exactly.
Like, you brought him from Division 3 up to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Credit due for that. Fair play.
Yeah,
Congratulations. So, but there has to be a time. Like Alex Ferguson, I've got to retire. I've got to step away. I've done what I can do, kind of thing.
That's it.
Don't go
Are you
back.
referring Rob to Alex Ferguson?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I was just like Alex Ferguson.
Yeah. Chewing gum?
Chewing gum.
Yeah.
I was everything, yeah. Anything to try and get me through 90 minutes.
Well, you've touched on your kind of injuries as well, so your ACL and what other injuries have you kind of dealt with in your life and career?
So yeah, when I was younger, it was always ankles. So I had so many problems with my ankles, broke my ankle playing football. Not long after I got together with Donna. She was going to meet me the one night and I said, oh no, we can't. I've got to have, I think I might have just broke my ankle. The worst one was my knee at the time. Then just started, I got back, I can't remember, my knee was just about sorted, and I had an accident at work, and that's when I had my little finger amputated. So I got dragged through a saw at work, and that's when I lost the side of my hand. So that was a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, that was a tough one. It was a tough accident, and then it was a tough rehab.
So does that affect you physically at all? And did it affect you mentally?
Definitely mentally at the time. It's always, like when I first did it, I couldn't look at it. It was about, I don't know, 6 weeks, because it was wrapped very heavily to start with. We had to go. So I did it on whenever I did it, and it was. So what did I have? Like the day of the accident was like, so it's still so vivid. It's funny in a way because I just sit there and I do smile about the day because it was, the accident happened and then there was just all the chain of events after. It was like walking up, finding my mate and saying, I need a first aider. You need to get one of the good first aiders here, because it's me just wandering around. He said, like, why is that? So I've cut my finger off, and he goes, no, you haven't. And I was like, yeah, I have. And he's like, oh, you have. And then I was sat there with like two first aiders being sick in bins, and I'm just sort of sat there thinking, what's going on, boys? Come on. So get someone else.
They were being sick in bins.
Yeah, they were being sick. I was fine. I was just sat there just chilling. And I was like, I said to my mate, I said, oh, can you ring Donna? Just tell her they're going to take me to hospital. Let's just meet me there. I said, tell her there's nothing wrong though. So I've had an accident, but I'm all right. So obviously the day carries on. And apparently he said to her, don't worry. He rang her and he said, don't worry, Rob's stable. They're just putting in the ambulance now. I'm like, mate, that's the furthest I could told you. It's just she's worried straight away then. But it was like, yeah, it's just how the day sort of panned out, and you sort of sat there and you're lying there at the time, and I'm awake for the first surgery, and they're talking about how so you get the hand pack, the surgeon's there. So if you were lying in a bed and then someone said to you, well, get the bone nibbler, the bone saw and the bone grinder. And I was sort of lying there thinking, so look at the nurse, she's laughing. I'm sort of just don't know what's going on because I'm high on everything. I said, can they not find better names for these things? Just a bone nibbler. But yeah. And so time sort of progressed. I struggled massively to start with because it was just like, I've lost a bit of me. I've lost a part of my hand, and it's just like, yeah. So it took a long time. Went through counselling, which I thought was going to be an absolute farce. I was like, no, I don't want to see a counsellor. I went to see a lady in a little room with some joss sticks, but she really helped. So yeah, I was like, oh, actually, no, I should be less defensive and less tighter.
Hat's fallen off the wall.
But yeah, and then it was just, so as soon as I got through it mentally, it was tough on Donna, tough on the family, because I was very angry at the time. It was like, oh, why is my hand?
Yeah, why me kind of thing.
Why me? Yeah. Going through a thing, I got to 3 operations. I was off work for, I don't know, 6 months. And I went back to work, and there was definitely well, it was your fault, wasn't it? It was your fault. Even though everything it was just what there was like, why are you taking out on us at work? And I'm like, boys, it was just, we knew the machine was faulty. the manufacturers admitted liability, so it's just all going through anyway. I left there, and but it took a long time. It took a long time to get over. Now physically, I blame it. That's why I'm so slow at swimming.
Always got an excuse.
Exactly. But no, it's not. It doesn't really affect me at all. Only when back in the days when we used to have cash money and used to get change off people, and used to reach forward, and then because it's not quite as big, it just all fall out. And I go, oh. I used to make a point of not using the right hand just to make make the cashier a bit.
Feel a bit sorry for you.
Yeah. So you just got to manipulate people, don't you? But yeah, it was a hard one to come back from. But yeah, especially because I was trying to play in goal at the time as well. So, but I did come back, and then the funny thing, I used to make 3-finger. Donny used to like stitch my goalkeeping gloves up then, and have 3-finger goalkeeping gloves, and I used to like when lads didn't know because not many people noticed because they did a real good job of the surgery. I used to throw my gloves to someone to have a go in goal, and they'd be like, "What's happening here? Why can't I get my fan in?" But yeah,
I think the message there is that it's always light at the end of the tunnel, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there is.
That, as much as you think you're at the bottom, and you're always going to climb back up.
Yeah,
and you've proved that.
Yeah, exactly. It was just really hard to mentally work through the fact that you've got, And it was just, even that, like right at the beginning, I was getting to the physio and she'd have to unwrap my hand, and she was like, just like this, looking away. And she was a lovely physio, and she was like, "Oh, Rob, you need you." And I said, "No, not interested." I said, "No." And she's like, "Oh, we'll be fine." But she was brilliant. And I just said, "You just crack on, do what you got to do." So I'll do it in my own time.
Cool. So what your turning point then from, obviously we've talked about going from football, getting to endurance, getting to triathlon. So I've got a note here then, Rob, that you were 19 stone at one point. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So like when I cut my finger off, I ballooned then.
Okay.
Because I was sat at home hiding from the world. But then I dropped my weight down just through normal activity and actually going. That's when I started going to the gym. Blah blah blah. And then through, I think what it was all around leading into COVID. So I'd started training for, like the previous year, I'd started training for the Newport Marathon, and then obviously I haven't got called off, and I've always put weight on quite easy anyway. And then I just hit it hard for about 6 months. Everything had stopped. So we were on the beers, eating too much, and then it just got a bit of hand. So yeah, I was like, woke up one day, and it was a couple of months into COVID, got to have been, and I was just like, what have you done? Like, I was sitting there thinking, Jesus wept. And so it's funny yesterday because that photo pops up once a year.
I saw that,
It comes up once a year, and I always chuckle away and have to share it, and it's just like but that's what it was, and it was just I woke up one morning and thought, I can't do this.
This isn't me.
This isn't me. So I hate this. I hate the way I feel. I hate just the way I look, because I've always sort of, even when I was heavy, I've carried it because I'm tall, and everyone really says, "You really that heavy?" I said, "Yeah, but I'm just big, and I'm like 6'4". I've got a big frame anyway, so you don't really notice." So yeah, and that was when definitely everything started. Just started doing started with hit sessions at home. Get up 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning, nail out half an hour, 40 minutes in the morning. Come home, do the same, and I did that religiously for like 6 weeks. Okay. Just drop the weight off. Nice. And then from there, I had the base then to start running again. Yeah. So that was that's where it all spiraled from, really.
There's a bit of grit and determination, though, isn't it? It just shows that hard work you can drop it that quickly.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and it was just
you put your mind to it.
It was literally like, and I've like diet wise, I don't do anything dramatically diet wise. It's just all I've ever done since that point it's quite boring. I either have porridge in the mornings, or granola, or overnight oats. One of those three I'll always have in the morning. Fruit, and then I'll move on to chicken salad or chicken and rice for dinner. Then have whatever I want for tea, because I tend to use that the home shopping things, the Hello Fresh or Gusto. So it's just all there.
Yeah.
Try not to snack, because if I've got a hell of a sweet tooth. So, but if I do crack open a biscuit, that's it. It's the pack's gone. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
same as me.
yeah. It's just, yeah. I love biscuits, love crisps, but I try not to. We've just been shopping now, and she's like, Johnson biscuits. I said, no, this week,
Yeah.
no. And she said, well, just because you'll go to the shop and buy some. Well, that might be the case, but today, no.
No.
You only put in your mouth what you put in your trolley, mate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and that's So I've just there's no like with food and how I dropped the weight. It was just no magic trick. It was just being boring, repetitive. Yeah. So
You talked about the early mornings there, and you've talked about that already, getting up early and getting it done at the start of the day. Does that set you up physically, mentally for the day?
mentally, definitely. You never, until you start doing it. Like for me, anyway, it was. I've never. It doesn't. The day doesn't start until I've done something in the morning. Yeah, and if I miss it, and I'm supposed to have done something, that's it. I'm just in a crap mood all day. Then
Yeah.
I'm just like, no. If I've overslept or whatever, because I'm too tired from the night before from training, and I'm supposed to come and do something, then you beat yourself up the next day. So yeah,
How do you manage that in, say, let's say taper weeks leading up to races? Because obviously, you, as the three of us will know, the intensity drops that week, and
Yeah.
I have some times where I I'm really good with that week,
yeah,
but some weeks on that taper week I struggle because you're not in that routine, you're not in that
exactly.
up, hit it hard, get at it. Yeah, I don't know how do you manage with that?
It varies. It varies what headspace I'm in and what good a nick I'm in as well. I think how I'm actually feeling. I'm pretty good. Once I know it's taper week, I'm all right. Because I know it's for the best, and it's gonna come the weekend. I know it's gonna be for the. But then, especially early part of the week, like Monday. Well, it's Monday. I've got 5-6 days to the race. I should be doing this.
Yeah,
So, but as the week goes on, and the anxiety drops from doing the training. Obviously, starts. Then you start the panic about, especially when you do like triathlons. It's like, oh god, I've got to pack.
Yeah.
Got to do my list.
Big old list.
And then you get consumed by that, and it's just So it is quite hard, especially when you are full bore once or twice a day, every day, and you just got to try and distract yourself. I just take the dog for an extra long walk then.
yeah.
So I'm going out longer.
Go back to your first race. So we talked about obviously Newport was your first. That was your first. Did you go back and redo that race when it was on the next year then?
Yeah,
Was that your first marathon then.
Yeah, first marathon. So that was 21. It was supposed to be 20, and then they ran it in was it the April?
It's always April, though, isn't it? Because of same time as London, isn't it?
It was the October. That's why.
Okay.
It was supposed to be the April, but then it was 2021, and then they did it in 2021. But I'm sure it was the October or September, because that was what linked it to me going, you know what, I'm going to do Ironman Mallorca. Yeah, first marathon at Newport then.
And you were self-coached for that. You just kind of got a plan, did you, and just
Yeah.
followed it and just
Just followed
did
it.
it work?
No, not really.
Why is that? Interesting.
Yeah,
Why is
not
that?
really.
Tell us a bit more about that then.
Well-
Why did the plan that you followed not work?
Generic, isn't it? It's just generic. So it's non-specific to the individual.
Yeah.
And as we know, everything needs to be tailored towards the individual.
Yeah, and this is going to bring us on to one of our kind of bite-sized episodes that we're going to do in the next month or so is about AI, because a lot of people are saying, is AI not worrying you as a coach in a business? Not one bit, because it cannot be specific and generic to that person, and even if it can't hold them accountable and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's probably where you fell down a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not having that accountability of putting a post-session feedback in.
No,
You know,
exactly.
that kind of stuff. So that's where a coach does come in. So
Yeah.
Brill. So Mallorca, you said about Mallorca, Ironman, sign up for that. So
Yeah.
what made you go from then, first marathon, you go, I'll just do a Ironman then?
Yeah, well, it was.
It's a strange journey.
Yeah, because when I first started doing, so back in about 2017, when I first started doing, like messing around with aquathons and sprint tries, I'd always thought, it'd be cool to do Ironman Wales one day. It looks amazing. And then I did this Newport Marathon, and then I was like, I'm quite fit. I'm nowhere near as fit as I am now. I said, but I quite enjoyed that. I said, how about doing a proper, I fancy doing a 70.3. And I was like, oh, where can I go? And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, do Mallorca. He said, because then you can angle it to Donzi. And she said, and we can say we can go out there, do a 70.3, have a holiday as well. And I said, what a great idea. So yeah, said to Donna, I'm going to do 70.3, we're going to go to Mallorca. So that was when I first sort of got a bit of a coach. So I'll say a bit of a coach, he was good.
You realised at that point you had to get a coach. You weren't going to be able to blag this one.
Yeah. That was it. And it was like, we could do with some guidance. So there was two of us. There was myself and mate Ryan. He just signed up for Bolton full. At the time, I just signed up for Mallorca. So he was like, Ben was like, all right, okay, is how we're going to do the training plans. He had this app he was using. He said, log your training plans on, go through it that way. I said, we'll have a chat at the end of the week, blah, blah, blah. So, and he was just like, this is ace. It was like, in the morning, bang, nailed it. This is like, yes, it was like a lesson version of Training Peaks, what he was doing, because he was trying to track everything, but it was just all text based. It was really good. So we worked through, and then then it was just like the matter of let's go to Mallorca and do my first ever 70.3.
Did it go well?
It did in a way. It was, you can, like I say, it's that the Ironman thing. It drags you in because you get there. As soon as you got to the hotel 2 days before, walk down to like if you've been to Alcudia, it's like on Ironman week, the whole seafront's taken up by Ironman Village. The whole centre of the town where all the bars are, it's I think it's Europe's biggest transition area. It was mega, and it's just like, wow, this is awesome. So you're like, wow. I think the one thing that the race went fine. However, the problem was the fueling. So, and reflecting with Ben was after we said, I said, mate, I bonked. I just went on the last 3/4 hour on the bike. I can't even remember it. I was in a terrible state, just purely because of not fueled. And we were like, we didn't really discuss it, did we? Yeah. I was like, no, I think we just assumed it'd be all right. And it was just didn't do a fueling strategy, didn't do anything. I was in a terrible state on the bike, and I was like, as I was coming back into Alcudia, I was like, I'm not going to be able to run here. Like physically, I'm fit, but I've got no fuel. And I was thinking, the family, I know where they're going to be, because there's the run out of T1, and I was like, T2, sorry. As soon as you run out, I knew they were going to be on that corner. So I was like, right, drag yourself together. I was cramping all over the place. So I just come out, ran past them, like waved. And then literally went round the corner. There was a feed station, grabbed everything off there and just sat by a bin for like 10 minutes and just collapsed and just started eating. It was horrific. God. So, but that followed on for like one of the best swims I've ever had. It was like amazing. It's just so good. And like, it took me a lap to get into it, of the run, especially. So as soon as I'd done the one lap, the fuel was sort of equalised. So the second lap of the run was like, I was fine.
But you took some big lessons from that race.
Massive.
Yeah, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's like you can't smash every race.
No, exactly. And that was when it sort of, and at that point, that's when the switch was lit.
You thought I could do this again. I could do double the distance.
Yeah.
And you went for Ironman Wales.
Yeah. So we were in May. It was May. They did Mallorca, and obviously September was Wales. So, like I said, we stayed up for a holiday for 7 days after. After a couple of days, the other people who were with us, the family all went home. So it was just me and Donna. The one night we were in this bar doing karaoke, smashed. And then she was like, what are you going to do next then? I said, well, I could do Ironman Wales in September. And she was like, well, do it then. I was like, oh, hello.
If you get that nod, you go,
yeah,
definitely.
So we were literally sat in this bar in Mallorca. She was like, well, you're as fit as you've ever been. I said, why not continue it through now? You've only got like 3 or 4 months more training to get through to September. Why dip off? So we sat there and I was straight on my phone, all the ping, enter. Wow. So yeah, in a bar in Alcudia in Mallorca, and that was it. And then
that was when May.
That was in May.
That just shows how much Ironman's come on.
Yeah.
You know, you could still enter in May.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
4 years ago, and now it's January. It's sold out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
thing for Ironman.
Yeah,
That's
of course
how
it
good the
is.
races are.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it was just full steam ahead then
Yeah.
to the greatest show on earth.
What did finishing that Ironman Wales mean to you emotionally?
Oh, it was like he's done it. You can't. It's very hard to describe Ironman Wales, isn't it? Until you've done it, the feeling. Like I knew it was going to be amazing, and it's just everything about Tenby. It's not Tenby. It's Irontown, and it's just. It still gives you goosebumps. As soon as you've been down there and you've experienced it, you just can't. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
It is just like a drug, and it's like.
They sell you these weird hats all the time. Every time you go there, you got to buy a hat.
Yeah, you
It's
have
weird.
to.
It's like compulsory hat purchase.
Yeah, sometimes two.
What's going on, isn't he?
I know, but yeah, it's just
And a tattoo, innit?
yeah.
Got a tattoo.
Got to have a tattoo. But it's just the race is just it's just unbelievable. And like the year I did it, it was the year we did it. It was just such a weird weekend. It was just like you had the Queen die in the week, so it was like, is it going to be on? Is it going to be off? So we had a bit of stress around that. Is it? Well, we're just going to travel anyway because I booked this caravan for the weekend, so we'll just go whatever. And we got there. Finally, I think on the Friday, late afternoon on the Friday, they said, "Oh no, we're going to go. It's all going ahead," because as we were travelling down there, it was still wasn't sure if it was actually going to happen. Like the weekend's just brilliant. The Saturday was glorious weather. It was just the sea was flat. We went and met the lads who had come down to support me. We were just floating around around the bay. We were just by the boats, just floating around, just giving it. Oh, this is lovely, isn't it? Get ready for the swim tomorrow. And then, the Sunday comes and you get up and it's just like, oh my God, what's happening here? So you didn't really, like on the morning itself, the weather didn't seem too bad, did it?
No.
And it was just like, I just remember walking, because transitions the other side of town, you've got to walk across. And like, you're just in a bit of a zone and you just got your wetsuit on and you're just trudging across. And I remember it was just a beautiful sunrise. So you didn't really clock the sea to start with. And then you sort of, as you come down, you sort of stood there. I thought, that's a bit choppy. And it was just like, but the thing with the start of the Ironman, it's just, the national anthem, everything. You're on that beach. It's just, the noise is just unreal, isn't it?
It's phenomenal.
So and then you sort of didn't really, I could see the sea, but wasn't really paying attention to it till you actually went in. When you got in, I was like, bloody hell, those waves are quite big. And it was just, smashed you around, didn't it?
Yeah, big time.
It was just like they've changed the swim now. You used to swim to the left and swim out to the cliffs first. And that for, I don't know, how far is it? It's half a mile out that way, something like that. And all I can remember is I was panicking. The first time I'd really had a proper panic attack swimming, thinking these waves are huge and I'm just getting chopped everywhere. No one was really close to me. Like in Mallorca, it was just so intense with people around you. I said, but that one, I found a space and it was just, I was all right, but it was just the waves just flipping you. And I was like, treading water thinking, I don't know if I can do this. And then you straight away flick into, there's no way I've trained for this long.
Yeah.
And I've got all those people on the beach watching me that I'm going to tap out of this. And I'm thinking, I'm watching people get fished out by lifeboats. People just not even getting that far and just walking out on I could see them walking out on the beach. They were just like swimming out, gone. And I was like, right, get to the turn buoy, and then you'll just have a chat with yourself. Just get there, which was fine. So just worked my way there. And then as you got to that buoy, as soon as I went to turn, there was a wave that just flipped me right over, smashed on top of someone else. And then you just, I was like, no, let's go. I managed to swim to the lifeboat, back in, looked at my watch, and it was like, well, that's not too bad. I was like, for the lap one, I was like 42 minutes. I was like, well, that's all right for all the crap I've been through in that lap.
Yeah.
So, so did the second lap, I was buzzing then. And it was just, it was just a whole day. And then it was just, the swim took it out of me because of the just the sea conditions. So I was really ill.
There was a lot of illness that day, though, isn't there? There was a lot of reports, I think. they say they called off Saundersfoot try
Yeah.
because of the Queen dying, but
Yeah.
apparently it was sewage.
Yeah.
And a lot of that sewage come down to obviously North Beach, where obviously we were swimming.
Yeah.
And that's why there were a lot of people being sick throughout the day.
I was just
Potentially for
couldn't-
sewage.
It was just
Not
I was
nice.
relentless, especially the first few hours on the bike. Like, because theoretically the first few hours are the quick part.
Yeah.
When you go out to angle and stuff, but I couldn't get anything going. I was just too busy spewing. I was just like,
Still on the bike, what spewing, or did you stop?
yeah, no spewing on the bike. Just keep going, spew. I might.
That's behind you. Go, huh?
Yeah. And it was just, so you just managed to get through the first big lap. Did the big climbs, and then it was the second smaller lap went quite well then, and then you just get onto the run. And it's just you just got to tuck in. I don't know where I really went in my brain that day, but it was like after times in the race, I was just said, oh, well, it wasn't even raining. And there's pictures of my wife. She's like hiding under a banner that they got, and they're just sodding because they had to go. Because I just switched off. You just go into, you just go into flight mode, and you just like you don't even know what you're doing.
It was a hard day. It's a hard course when it's
Yeah.
good conditions.
You said about flight mode. That was obviously quite a bulk of it, but was there anything else? What got you through that race at the tough times?
Brute force and ignorance. I was just literally, there's no way I'm not doing it. Like on the bike, it was that was like the annoying thing of the day because I was quite slow on the bike that day, whereas I was hoping to nail it a lot more, but it was just, it wasn't there. But then as soon as I knew I was fine and there was no cut-offs to be worrying about, you just sort of had to just get into the mindset. As soon as you finish, get onto the run, you're done. Because I thought, well, I finished the bike at about, I don't know, four-ish in the afternoon, something like that. And it's like, well, I've got loads of time here. I could walk it if I wanted to. I said, and I'm done. I said, because you've got rid of all the mechanical. You can't even have a mechanical on your, well, your body can, you fail, but yeah, because on the bike you always run that risk. So yeah, it's As soon as I finished the bike, there was a whole host of people in the corner of the transition tent when there. Remember those? All wrapped up in foil blankets. They were in a terrible state.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a horrible sight. And I just sat down, had my cheese and ham wrap. And then there was one, the high man caller, he's there. He said, "My God, I've never seen someone so relaxed." I thought, "I've got to get the food in me, mate." And then you just start doing your 4 laps. And you go to some dark places in those laps, don't you?
It's a hard run course.
It's a very hard run. And you've got to go, like the loops are, you go up to new edges, come back down, you get your little wristbands. And then when you're running and you're talking to people, you're looking at their wrist, thinking, how many laps have they done? And it's just a hard day.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the town, the atmosphere is unreal because everyone's having a party, everyone's been on the piss all day.
Yeah, they get more pissed every lap you do. They get more drunk, and then by like lap 1 you can bear it, can't you?
Yeah.
Like, oh great, lap 2, lap 4, they get quite rowdy.
Yeah,
but they're great, aren't they?
they are brilliant. It's unreal. It's
phenomenal.
Like the whole support around everything. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
it's just
class.
you can't describe what it's like. No. And it was just the finish line, everything. It was. I knew the family were there somewhere. I like my finish line videos like amazing because I get shot with champagne. It's just you just can't describe the moment when they say for the first time, "Oh, you're an Ironman." It's just like just goosebumps all the time, and then it's just all gravy.
Mate.
Then you just know what's going to happen. You know you've got the bug.
And you got the bug and you went back for it. So Barcelona, and that come at quite a difficult time for you.
Yeah,
with your dad's illness.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, and then how did training kind of
cope
with it?
So firstly, I was going to have a year off to start with, and then one of my mates had a great idea. Let's enter Barcelona, and then we both entered, and then he pulled out. So I was like, I'm going to do it on my own then. So I did it without a coach as well. So I was training quite well because I had quite a good base level of fitness. So I knew what I had to do. I was just like, getting the sessions done, do this, do that. Obviously, Barcelona race was the 1st of October, end of July. Phone call off my mum. Dad's collapsed, taken into hospital. And I was like, all right, okay. So all to do with his diabetes. You think, oh, well, he had diabetes type 1 for years. It's fine. So he got taken in, and it was just like, all right. But you could tell something wasn't quite right, and we weren't really sure what was happening. And yeah, it was. So we were just trying to get our heads round on how he was, because he was fine. He was fine. He was never. He's been poorly for a long time, off and on, but nothing really prescribed. It's just been. He was 80. So 80 type 1 diabetes. He had a quadruple bypass years ago. He had defib fitted. So, but he was always a fit, healthy bloke. Theoretically, there was no like real ill health. So he went in. I carried on doing what I did, and then I suppose middle of August, when the training is really ramping up, was when he started to turn and started getting a bit worse. And then it was like, yeah, you start to get worried then, and you start to have some real concerns about him. And I remember, especially on long ride Saturdays, so I go out from the long rides, and I remember one day really vividly, I was coming up Church Stretton Way. I was going up over the hills, Church Stretton Way. And I always listen to music when I'm riding. I was putting my shocks on. My phone started ringing. I could see it on my watch. It was Dad. I was like, well, why is he ringing me? So I answered, and he's like, oh, where are you? I said, I'm out on my bike, Dad. Where are you? Well, I don't know. They put me in Birmingham. I said, I can see the skyscrapers. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, your dog's here. And it's like, the dog's here. They're in Birmingham skyscrapers, and these people keep coming in. And it was like, and he just ranted away at me, and it was just like, and it was like, oh my God. So it just took everything out. I was like, oh my God, what's happening here? So I stopped, rang Donna and my mum, because I knew they were going to see him anyway. I was like, look, you need to go, how far away are you? So we'll just come into her for now. I was like, he just rang me, he's like this. And then you sort of, so I knew he was fine. I knew he was there for the hospital, but then I'm just like, you numb. And I'm like, bloody hell, I've still got 50 or 60 miles to do here. I've just got to keep going. So that was pretty much the story of every week. And I was just like, there was nothing. I was just like, I'd go out for 100-mile bike rides, and I was just like, it's me. I'm just sat on my bike. I'm just totally zoned out, thinking about what's happening. It's just, yeah, it was just horrific. And then like 4 or 5 weeks, it was bad. And then I went down to watch Proby do his Tenby for the first time, Ironman. So I allowed myself to go away for the weekend. Literally, we left Tenby on the Monday morning, travelling up, phone call, can you come to hospital? Yeah, all right. Went in, and they were like, your dad's going to his palliative care. He said yeah. I was like, how long? And they were like, a week, tops. And this is around the first week of September. So I'm like, fucking hell. All right. And then so I went out, I was just sat there broken, just sat on a chair in the corridor, and I felt this hand on my shoulder. It was this Dr. Ian. And he said, you've got to do this race. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, your dad's been on about it. He's been moithering about it for weeks. He said, no matter what happens to me, make sure he does the race. And I was like, mate, you can't say that to me. I said, the world's like, my world's just ended. So I'm just like, he was like, doesn't matter. I said, you got to go and do it. Whatever happens. So it was like, literally, so that was on the Monday. He passed away on the Friday. It was just like, it was that quick. And I was just like, fucking hell. I was actually, and then, yeah, that happened on the Friday. On the Saturday, I'm like, I've got to do a long ride. So I just got up. She's like, what are you doing? I said, well, what else can I do? I said, they've told me I've got to do the race. And she's like, fair enough. And I literally rode. So I did 100 mile. So I went from my house up to Raider, down to Bilf, down to Hay. Just pretty much cried for 100 miles. Just smashed the miles out. And I was just like, pure, just, not knowing where I am. I'm just doing it. So it was just, it was a bloody, and then we were like, what do we do? What do you do about the funeral? And the family were all saying, well, you've got to do Ironman Barcelona. You've got to do it in his memory. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm crying anyway. So you're making me cry some more. And that will delay everything till after you come back. And I was like, oh, bloody hell. So, So the actual funeral was the Saturday after I got back. So we did the race on the Saturday, the 1st of October, maybe. And it was the following Saturday. But it was just, so hard.
Yeah.
Just had to get, like, thankfully, I had people like Probe in my life who was like, he towed me along on some bike rides and some runs, just to be there, just to get me going. And I was just like head down. I was like trying to swim, but it was like, that was the worst time because I'd always see people in the pool and they're always like, how are you? And I'm like, well, I'm terrible, but don't talk to me.
Yeah.
So I just tried to get my head down for as long as I could. And it was just, you just went into, I was totally numb for all of it. Even with flying out there, it was just like, I just don't, it was such a strange feeling. You just don't.
Are you glad you did it?
Oh God, yeah. It was so good. And it was so emotional. It was just like,
Crossing that line was emotional.
oh, it was, because it's a draggy course. It might, like they say, Barcelona's fast and flat. The swim was horrific. It was just like the current in the sea that day was just like blew me everywhere. The bike was fine because that's 9, but it was just a run. It was just, you had 4 big laps, but half the lap, it's not like Wales where you've got lots of supporters. It was a load of it was out the top end of this town where you just running through a sandy car park, and you just like, there's no one around. It's just dark with a couple of street lights. They've changed it now through the city, but it was just like, I was so ill. I was being sick all the way around the run. Couldn't take anything on. I think it was just the emotion of everything. I was just like, I was done. And on the last lap, I'd saved a packet of pretzels in my aid bag, and then I was walking up to the turn point, and walking with this Lithuanian lad, sharing my bag of pretzels with him. But as soon as you turn the corner, you just knew. So I literally turned the corner to get the 3 or 4 mile back, and I was crying straight away. And he's like, this boy I was running with, you all right? Yeah. What's the matter? No, it's fine. Don't want to talk about it. And he just, so he just go in there, because I knew as soon as you got into because there's a bit of a stadium when you finish, and I was looking for Donna because she had it's always like for the squirrel, because that was my dad's nickname, and that's what I said. That was what I put everything into, and then we had this little teddy bear I was going to finish with, so it was a little squirrel teddy bear, and it was just like, as soon as I got there, she just threw it down, and it was like, that Paul Kay was there, the announcer, and he was like, he said, what's that for? And I said, it's for my dad, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, oh, wow. It was like, So, it was such a strange thing to be going through what I was going through and then trying to do that. But you just do it. I just had to do it. It was just like, didn't think, just did. Don't think, just do. That was kind of my mantra for 6 weeks.
Well, mate.
Yeah, it was bloody hard.
Oh, it's emotional, isn't it?
And having to do.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
And then because it led into the funeral the week after. I had to do his eulogy, and it was just everything. It was just everything. Yeah, it was. Yeah, fucking hard.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, mate. I appreciate it.
No probs.
So we've brought you on to the SBC coaching team.
Yeah.
Trying to get you that experience you've got, that mindset you've got. But can you tell people for listening kind of why you got into coaching, why you want to get into coaching?
I want to get into coaching to help people to achieve what they want to achieve, but do it the right way. You see a lot of prescribed coaches, and like if anyone follows any sort of triathlon or any sort of endurance or coaching on Insta, it's all you see this wonderful world of perfect session. Oh yeah, now my perfect session. Yeah, I've done this and done that. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's about it. you'll have your good days that you'll smash a session. You'll have your bad days where you can't even complete the session. Or it's like on a bike. Some days you've got no legs, and you've got to dial it down. And it's having that. So I want to use my experience and my knowledge I've picked up over the years in order to help people achieve things the right way and not have to think that they should be doing X, Y, and Z. It's doing what's right for them.
Yep.
And like some weeks you might, I should be doing 20 hours this week, for example. Well, theoretically, mate, you're only going to do 10 because you're quite clearly fatigued. You're quite clearly got something wrong with you. But the 10 hours could be so much better for you this week than what we had originally planned, just because of how you are and how your life is.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to. That's why, because it, like I said, the passion now is all since I stopped with the football, where I was too busy with trying to get a team together to get them out. But the main point why I've switched to this was because I've sat to be a good endurance athlete. You've only got to rely on yourself, and that was like a revelation to me. It was like, well, if I want to be good or better than yesterday, I only have to worry about myself.
Yeah.
I have to just help, and that's why. So I want to help people to achieve that. That's yeah.
I suppose there's a difference there between the football and the rugby and all that kind of team sports where you have to chase people to be there. But triathletes, marathoners, endurance athletes, whatever you want to call them, that they're all with us and with you as a coach because they want to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not forcing them.
No.
And, that's it. It's such a different, two worlds apart.
It is, yeah.
You're guiding them through their journey, aren't you?
Yeah.
And they want to be there.
Yeah.
Whereas the rugby and the football, it's just another game in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Whereas this,
they're not really bothered.
they're coming to you to help them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they're paying you to help them as well. So they're investing in themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And it's and it can be so beneficial to yourself, like mentally, physically, everything. Just to,
What kind of coach do you want to be? That might be quite a vague question, but what kind of coach are you looking at to be?
I suppose it's trying to be the. What could I say I want to be? The most. I like to be level. I like to be clear what I'm doing. I like to be
Edgy.
I like to be edgy because I like the big. I like the big, powerful sessions. I like the odd sessions. I love the. Whereas, I suppose, how we've trained over the years. What me and the lads have trained with, we like really pushing it. But then I do like the lovely, calm, lovely, quiet runs as well.
I don't know who we had on. We talked about that, about the go hard, go home sessions.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that all the time.
Yeah.
And I think you've realised now that's not
It's
sustainable.
You can't do it all the time.
It's great for a period of time.
It's great on the days.
Yeah.
It's like, and you've got to tailor what you want. Like, like everything you do, like through the Tri Club, they do that, but TT racing on a Thursday on Zwift.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's brilliant. I love beasting it. But then at the moment, I've stepped away from it because I'm training for ultras, so I don't need that.
No.
It's like, and that's why you've got to be prescriptive in how you train people and what you do. It's like, you want to do it. I love it, but I don't need to do it.
Is it necessary?
Yeah.
That's it.
It's been much more beneficial to me, what I'm training for, to go and do a low-level endurance hour on a bike.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do a bike on a Thursday evening, to take the pressure off my knees and my legs and stuff for that night, just do that.
I think it's a good statement, isn't it? Is it necessary and is it beneficial?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can't answer those questions, it's not.
No, exactly.
I think when you come out of a prep or a build up to a specific race, then you allow yourself to do those things, have a bit more fun with your training, do this, do that, say yes to this, say yes to that. But when you're in a specific build, it has to be specific
Of course it does,
to that race, doesn't it?
No, exactly. And that's when sort of October comes and you sort of down tools, and it's good for a couple of months to do the online Zwift race, and it's because it's good crack.
Yeah.
And if you do feel like you need a hit out when you're doing your training for like an ultra or whatever, I've done it, and it's like now and again. because they're bloody hard.
Yeah.
You're hanging
you're
on
not
for
going to do one. You're not going to do one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Because
No,
you're not going to
exactly.
sustain it.
It's just all about it's all about tailoring to the specific event you want to do and trying to build an athlete like that. And it's just not, and I suppose that's where I want to take my athletes too as we come along. It's just everything, and that's where you go back to is it an AI based thing? Is it just a training plan, or is it a coach talking to the athlete saying, yeah, this is what we're going to do to achieve what we're going to do. It's not just on a bit of paper and you just tick it, and it's just because it's just.
Yeah. Rob, you talked obviously about the sort of weight loss period of time, and you talked quite simply about how you just sort of change the structure of your eating.
Yeah.
From a nutrition perspective, how important is it, and how much difference have you seen when you fueled properly? And if you had sort of a bit of basic advice for someone out there that doesn't know where to start, where would they start?
First point, you can notice 100% notice the difference when you fuel properly with regards to your proper nutrition. It's building up to the race, life in general, because as soon as you lay off the crisps and the biscuits, you get a lot more energy. You get your hit of your bickies, but you do feel crap after.
Yeah.
But it is, I think, when you get a decent nutrition plan leading into whatever you're doing in life in general and into a race, you definitely feel physically better and mentally better.
Yeah.
And then on race days, when you do have to work your fueling out, it's quite a non-specific as well. It's very individual, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's huge. It's someone says, "Oh yeah, you can just go off all gels, or you can just go off all solids," but it's very much trial and error, and I've had some huge errors.
Do you apply that trial and error to training? Do you actually test things in training?
I do test this in training. So for the longer endurance events, like when I've done the Ironmans previously, I've worked on different things building up to it, whether it was different types of solid foods, see how they reacted in my body, doing a mixture of gels, because I do get a nice kick out of gels, especially the caffeine ones. But then when you get into the world of gels, it's like there's so much out there, and you can mix it round. And some are terrible, some don't react well with your body, and it's very individual. Like I've landed on precision because it tastes nice. It doesn't tend to give me bad stomach. Whereas like other ones like Morton's, I couldn't go back to Morton. I struggled because I took it in Barcelona, and that was when I was being sick every 10 minutes, and I was trying to crack a Morton in at the same time as water just to get something in my mouth, just to try not to be sick. Because as soon as the flavour touched it, I was like, oh no. it was like, and you're like thinking, my God, I'm only 13 mile in here. I'm going to get the fuel on.
Right, it's very individualised, because like that works for you, it might not work for me, and how much you take on obviously depends on your weight and that kind of stuff, and how much your gut can take it. So you need to train your gut as much as you do zone 2. It's just important,
and it's very individual. And it's like, I remember when I did that Mallorca Ironman, and there's like a big, however long the climb is, it's like 5-10 miles. I can't remember, it's 10k this climb is, and I was going up this hill, going on all right. And listen, this lad come past me, but he's got a big ham and cheese baguette in the back of his bib shorts. He's just got a full ham baguette. I'm like, mate, what are you doing? I'm going to eat it on the way round. I was just like, and it's just random, but it works for him. So it's just
more
like,
impressed with in his bike bottle on the back of his bike bottle. That'd be good. A big baguette, French stick.
It was just, but it's just.
You couldn't do that in the UK. You'd get wet, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
You lose that a bottle, mate, it'd be gone.
Yeah, but nutrition. You've got to try. You've got to nail it for yourself. I do track what I eat. I got a fitness app and whatever, my fitness pal I use and stuff, and it's just to keep, so you can look at the proteins and stuff, and it's just like basic stuff. But
Mate, well done. So moving on to some quick fire round, okay?
Boom.
Some very quick fire questions and answers for you. What's the hardest Ironman moment you've ever had?
Hardest Ironman moment I've ever had. It would have been that swim at Ironman Wales. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that first lap, it was just, well, it wasn't even the first lap. It was the first half mile. It was just like, my God.
I would say the second lap as well, because I'm sure they were moving that buoy.
It definitely moved.
That buoy. You're swimming towards it, you look at it, think, it's actually 10 metres further away now.
Yeah, it was closer to the cliff, wasn't it? Yeah, no.
Definitely.
They did, and there's been a few, but that's definitely the one that stands out as the moment where you go, oh my God.
And that was 2022.
2022. Yeah.
Rob, what's one training session that you'll never forget?
One training session I'll never forget. I think we used to do one of the ones that always stood out, especially back in 2022, was we used to do these Yasus, and that was always the thing that used to break me, but it was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So in Leominster, we've got like a housing estate that runs, it is like 600 to 800 metre loop, but you just go full bore on it for like 10 laps of that, and they were like the worst, but you get the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good. Nice.
Bro.
Yeah.
What's a food you always fall back on?
Oh, well.
Good and bad.
Biscuits and crisps.
Hobnobs.
Chocolate or plain?
Yeah. Chocolate. Yeah. Always chocolate. Chicken and rice. I love chicken and rice, but I've got to change the flavour up. Depends what it is, because if you have chicken and rice all the time, you get bored, and that was always the thing. So every week, like I have chicken and rice at work, but every week I have to change the sprinkles I put on when I cook the chicken in. So one week's peri peri.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Then it's paprika, or it's spicy kale. So I have to have something different every week to keep my mind active.
Yeah.
Because I have the same one, if I have 2 weeks in a row, it's like, nah. But yeah, so as long as it's tasty and hot, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Real.
All right, Rob. Last one. What's one bit of advice that you'd give to an athlete starting out on their journey today?
Hire me as a coach. No,
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. But it is. It's get your specific goal in mind. Get a coach on board, and make a proper plan what you want to actually achieve.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass it.
Don't half-ass it like
Yeah,
that.
you got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you've just got to know what you want to achieve and go for it there, and then the rest will just happen around it. It's any event you want to do, from you've never done a 10K before, you've never done a half marathon. It's all hard work, but it's all the benefits you get from the end of it are just astronomical wherever you want to go. It's just you've got to go through the process. You can't just turn up and do it. Yeah.
Spot on.
Thank you, Rob.
No
really
problem.
appreciate today. It's been good, and hopefully the listeners will learn a lot from that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Rob. Cheers, mate.
No problems. Cheers, gents.
Cheers, Rob.
Thank you.
Rob, thank you for sharing your journey so openly. Your story shows that setbacks don't define us. What we do next is how we build on it. From an athlete to a coach, you're living what it means to be smarter than yesterday.
And if you want to work with SPC or Rob as a coach, then don't forget to hit us up at smartperformancecoaching.co.uk.
Now listen, guys, if you think this podcast helped you or could help somebody out there, please do make sure that you share, like and subscribe, and leave a comment. And also, if you've got anyone out there that you think we should sit down at our next podcast, then please let us know, because we want to speak to some good everyday athletes and some inspirational people. And don't forget, let's be smarter than yesterday.